Okay, are you all ready to begin? I call this meeting of the Paducah Planning and Zoning Commission, the August 16th meeting to order, and ask that you stand with us, please, as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome to everyone who's here tonight. Mr. Summer, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Benberry. Here. Commissioner Bradford. Commissioner Morrison. Commissioner Pollard.
Here.
Commissioner Schramke.
Here.
Commissioner Wade.
Here.
Chair Cresilius.
Here. Mr. Wade, you have the minutes motion, please?
I move that the reading of the minutes for the August 2nd, 2021 meeting be waived and that the minutes of said meeting as prepared by staff be approved as written.
Second.
Second by Benberry. Are there any corrections, questions, changes? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wade.
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry.
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard.
Aye.
Commissioner Schramke.
Aye.
Chair Cresilius.
Aye. Our first item of business tonight is an Urban Renewal and Community Development Agency item. It is INC 2021-9005. Ms. Schramke, I believe you have that item.
I do. I move that the URCDA approve the upper story residential funds in the amount of $45,000 for one residential unit at 219 Broadway, subject to the work being completed as proposed in the application received on June 3rd, 2021, and supplemental materials received on July 13th, 2021.
Second.
Second by Pollard. Katie Axe is here to give a presentation.
Good evening. My name is Katie Axt. I'm a principal planner and Main Street director for the City of Paducah, and I'm thrilled to bring this project to you tonight for 219 Broadway. This is an upper story residential grant program to actually fund 8 apartment buildings, not one that was in the motion, 8 apartment buildings. A combination of 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom units on the 2nd and the 3rd floors of the Hoopers building. This is a historic building located on the 200 block of Broadway. And the third upper story project that I've been able to bring to Urban Renewal Planning Commission since taking over the principal planner job about 3 years ago. This one is a big one. Typically, we bring one apartment or 2 apartments to you. I'm thrilled that this project is bringing 8 new rental apartments that meet the requirements and the design standards of the the upper story residential program. As you're familiar, the program is set up in order to facilitate residential living in the upper stories of our historic buildings, and we fund up to between 15 and 20% of a build out, or $15,000 per unit. So the maximum amount that we could have funded was well over $100,000 for this project because it was 8 units, $2.7 million of private investment. However, staff's recommendation is to fund approximately $45,000, which is the full amount given by City Commission for this fiscal year. Mrs. Wilkins, who is the property owner, is here to answer any questions that you might have, and I can answer any questions regarding the application and how it relates to the upper story program.
Hello, my name's Tanya Wilkins, and I typically just like to talk, but my husband's supposed to be here with you all tonight, and he couldn't, so he kind of gave me some talking points, and I really like how he kind of wrote it, so I'm just going to kind of read his our story to you. It's a personal story and kind of how we got to be here at the Hoopers building. So The history of our interest in Paducah, David and I both grew up in Lone Oak and graduated. He was a couple years older than me, and I'll try not to take y'all too much of y'all's time tonight. And but I remember cheering for his basketball games, and then we went our own way. After about 10 years or so, we re-met, and I was in Louisville, Kentucky, working as a nurse. I went to Murray State, go Racers, so I went to, and he was in Nashville. So we re-met and hit it off, I guess, because you knew where you came from. So we hit it off, and we got engaged about 3 months and got married after about 6. And so we went to college, and then as we planned our retirement, after about 30 years, we almost got 30 years of marriage in, we started looking at some investments and different things, and we've done some things, and we live in Tallahassee, Florida, and we've been in Nashville and different places with his job. He was an IT consultant before, and graduate, I always say that, retired from that, and then he's been doing some investment, and he's doing some consulting now. But as we looked at our retirement, we really wanted to give back to Paducah. We just really, is very dear to our hearts, and like we said, we just grew up here. Our best memories are coming down to the, Columbia and going to a movie on Saturday. And I remember we were just talking about the little lady that's, was Paducah Dry and sat at the little stool and with her little gloves on, And I remember one time I was in there and it was like, 2nd floor lingerie, and I was like, okay, did you need to say lingerie right in front of everybody, but it was just, these memories just come flooding back. And so we just started looking, and we looked at every building, kind of, different ones, and, just things wouldn't work out as far as, either they weren't really ready to sell or asking crazy amounts, or, and we had thought about giving back, and how we're going to do this, and, there's monies here and there, and so we started looking and talked to different ones that are really smart. Like Katie, and and so we finally, my best friend from college, Vicki Sims, is at Hooper's, and so I was talking to her one day, and I've been in her wedding, she's been in mine, and been friends forever, and I was like, Vicki, we've got a problem, we looked, and we knew Craig back then and everything. And actually, it's a funny story because David, my husband David, and Craig worked together before they even got married, that long ago. We're not old at all, and so I talked to her, and she said, well, our dream really was that we could build out the top of Hooper's, hers and Craig's. And so, I said, well, David, I think Vicki might be interested in selling. She's co-owner. And so she said, well, let me talk to her other owner and see if he's interested. So we talked, and then finally realized that it might work. So then we started talking to different ones. So, as we looked, and then we finally came to an agreement to get that. Well, with the Historical Society, there's all these things, that you have to do, which we wanted to do, but we didn't know anything about it because we'd always renovated newer things, and so we'd really just try to figure out how to do this. So it's been a really learning curve for us, but it's been good. So we've renamed the building the W on Broadway. We thought of all kinds of things. We've got 3 daughters that are adults now, and they had every idea in the world, and we are going to honor Craig in some way with the building, or do something for him, definitely. But we are going to name it the W on Broadway, and it really just reflects our interest in our investment back in Paducah. We were looking, I remember when we went in and just looked at the 2 stories and the floors and everything, and tried to figure out how this was going to work. And we really wanted to keep all the historical parts that we could. So we've cut out pieces probably this big and put out of an area that maybe is going to be in the bathroom, where we're going to use tile, and put it in the family room, and pieced it together. They're gorgeous. We want y'all to come. We want you to come. But they're beautiful. So they've really tried to keep everything that's just very special about this building. A little history about the building, y'all may know, was it was first built in the 1880s. It was a saloon. salon, how you say, I think, in Paducah, they may say salon, I think it's really salon. And then a dry goods stores. It was United Homes Home Furnishings, and I'm sure if y'all are from here, you remember, and it was a furniture store. Then the Schneiders, do y'all remember Schneiders? Okay, they ran a publishing company. And they had their belly, and they are a very, very philanthropic family. They've done a lot for Paducah, so we just really wanted to honor them as well. Survived the flood, served as a USO dance hall back in the day, and now Hooper's has been there, and we've followed Vicki out to the mall and then back downtown, and trying to figure out. But it's just a surviving business, and we're so excited for them. And when Craig passed, she didn't really know what she wanted to do, and she didn't really, or when he got sick, she didn't really plan on learning the business side of it because she's a teacher. And he's like, no, you need to know this. And then she ended up learning it, well, not knowing that she was really going to need to know it. And so it was very important for her to continue, keep the store. So what we're going to do now is we've invested to keep preserving the floors. I said we've been approved for grants from the Kentucky Historical Society, and then we kept, the main thing is the floors. There's the windows. I don't know if y'all see them from outside, but you've got to see. Y'all have got to come in. It's exciting. There's a grand staircase that was where the people used to come down. That's covered up for now, but we've got, that's going to be glass. So when you walk in, it's going to be all glassed out. So when you walk in Hooper's, it's going to be where you still see the grand staircase and everything. So it's exciting. The ceilings are really high, so everything was really big. The square footage is amazing what it's worked out to be, and it was going to be 10 and then 8 and different. But we've got 3 2-bedrooms and 3 2-bedrooms and 5 1-bedrooms in there. And we've tried to keep everything natural and historic. But everything is new, of course. We've renovated everything. We've got all new appliances, washer and dryer, floors are there, but everything is all done. So let's see if there's anything else that I was told to tell y'all that I'm not reading, and I told y'all I just like to talk. So we plan to have an open house the last of September. We want y'all, I'm sure we'll send something out, and we love to have all y'all come. And we've talked to the mayor, and I'm going to figure out something, to have, and hopefully he'll stand there and dedicate to the city or do something. So we're working all those out. We have the first renter already called. I guess I can't tell y'all who it is. It's exciting. He's moving here. And I thought, who is going to, because I'm always a skeptic of my husband when he wants to spend a little bit of my money. And he said, no, this is a good thing. And I said, well, who's going to move to Paducah that's going to want to stay in these? There's already some, like you said, I heard you say, or you said, different ones, there's different apartments. And I said, well, who's going to keep moving to Paducah and want this? And it's okay. It stays empty, but it'd be nice if, if people just really want to revitalize downtown. And so but we've already gotten a call. A guy that's, I think he may be an investor, but he's moving here to be involved in one of the schools. So it's exciting. And so we just really appreciate you all investing in us and in our dreams. And we know Craig would be thrilled with what has come. I'm not sure Vicki is real thrilled at this point because we've been building around her. Her storage room right now has a bunch of equipment and stuff in it, so she's like, can you get this up? I've got my Christmas inventory coming in. So it's been a learning curve and real patience of her to allow us to do this. But yeah, we should be 1st of September, have the first one to move in, and he's kind of our guinea pig. It's like if things don't work just right, just please, bear with us, but we'll get it done. So we just really, really appreciate you all and helping us do our dream and investing back in Paducah. I think Craig will be excited, and we hope you all are. And when you come by and see, and if people are looking for somewhere to stay, we'd love to have them. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Y'all have any questions at all?
Questions?
Definitely, if I don't know, Katie does.
I do. So it'll be set up as apartments, not condos?
That's right. We had debated on whether to sell some, but I think 211 has at least one condo, maybe 2 in it. And there's different ones for sale. But ours it right now will be just rent apartments. And so, we'd love to have all 8-year leases, but we're also going to set it up, 2 or 3 of them, as Airbnb type facilities. So if we've talked to our friend actually down in Florida, I live in Florida, and he does trips up here. And so he comes up hunting and fishing and that kind of thing. And so he had this brilliant idea. It's like, well, Hoopers can supply us with what we need, the kayaks and all this stuff, and then I can bring my friends and we could stay, so he had it all, I'm like, okay, if it works out that way, that's great. So, but yeah, we've got some that will be Airbnbs, and it'll be, smaller amounts of times that people will rent.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, so, anything else? All right, thank you.
Any more comments, questions?
I know of 3 people looking for nice Airbnbs here now, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's some in town. I mean, what's we loved about this one particularly is you could walk,
Yeah.
everything is there. And I think some of their others are farther away.
Yeah.
We were out one night and we try to go to different places when we come to town, and we're getting ready to sell our house there. So we're going to spend 6 months here and 6 months in Florida somewhere. But, and we were talking to people that were involved in the arts, and they were just here I think they were doing a kids camp or something, and he's like, oh, we wish we could stay there because we're around the corner and can't walk, so things like that. So we're going to be sure and let everybody know we're available, and try to work with, my husband will kill me for saying this, but try to work with the different ones to work, so that they can stay there. And he'd sell me if he could make some money off me. But he is, but if we can support the ones that are coming to Paducah and be able to stay there so they can be close to what they're doing to give back to the city, then we're all about that. Yep, thank you.
Any more questions or comments?
I do have one comment on the actual motion references 1 unit. It would probably be prudent to do an amendment for it to be 8 instead of 1.
I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved by Pollard,
Second.
second by Benberry. Okay, we'll be first voting to change it to 8 units. Questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Now we'll be voting on the main motion, which has been amended. Are there any more questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Is that when I say, yay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be here. We're excited to be here. And we just love Paducah. We love this area, love this city, and we're just thrilled to be able. And I doubted my husband along the way a lot. So I really appreciate just seeing what's happening and you all supporting it. It just means the world.
And we love new growth.
Yes, thank you for your investment. It means a lot to downtown.
We're really particular about who's going to be in those.
Sure.
So that they can be the kind of person, I mean, not, I don't know what you say.
We understand.
But we want them to be,
Yeah.
where they're going to give back to the city and really be, we love the people we've met and all the other, businesses in that. So we're so excited. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate it.
Thank
Our
you.
next item of business, we're moving on to Planning Commission petitions. Our first item of business is our bylaws change, the definition of secretary. Mr. Benberry, I believe you have that.
Yes, Madam. I move that this commission adopt the changes as revised in Article 4, meetings in the Paducah Planning Commission bylaws.
Second.
Second by Wade. That information was sent out earlier. I hope you all have had a chance to look at it. If you have any questions, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Ms. Pollard, you have our next item of business, which has to do with plat resolution, the plat procedures resolution, if you would.
I move that this commission adopt a resolution authorizing planning staff to approve plats in accordance with KRS 100.2811.
Second.
Second by Shramky.
This resolution stems out of the KRS 100-281, which would allow planning, as we now have a designation, Planning Commission Secretary to approve plats. However, there are three different kinds that we are proposing to still come before this body, which if it creates 5 or more lots, creates right-of-way, or closes right-of-way, that will still need to come to the Planning Commission for a public hearing. There is an appeal to the Board of Adjustment, and that's by KRS 100-261, that if somebody doesn't agree with staff's recommendation or procedures or anything like that, they can appeal to them. So this has been reviewed by Dan Key, and he thinks that it is appropriate.
It would actually be not staff's recommendation, but staff's decision. Wouldn't
Yes,
that be right?
correct.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Our next item of business is WOS 2021-0025, 130 Lone Oak Road. Mr. Wade, you have that item, please?
I move that this commission receive and file the application of CC Crossroads for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 130 Lone Oak Road. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second.
Second by Pollard. Good evening.
Hello. How's everyone doing? Yeah, this is a subdivision plat with the purpose being to, this is the development on Lone Oak Road that Alberta Davis has started. The existing building has Broadway Dental Care, F&B Bank, Ballard Aesthetics, a couple other businesses. They're getting ready to start construction on the second building, and so she wants to create 2 separate lots. That way, one could be sold off if needed or just for investment purposes. And staff did recommend that a new easement be established down the center property line, which we have done. It's a 73.5-foot wide easement that encompasses that center drive aisle and the parking on both sides.
Are there questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Our last item of business is WOS 2021-0026, which is 250 Trail Loop and 201 Greenway Village Drive. Ms. Shramky, you have that?
I do have. I move that this commission receive and file the application of Greenway Village LLC for the proposed re-subdivision of property located at 250 Trail Loop and 201 Greenway Village Drive. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second.
Second by Pollard.
Had a plat come through and approved by you guys not too long ago, and it's kind of getting a little tricky on what's going on there. We're splitting some lots up, and it has to do with potential change of ownership. There's an investment group looking to potentially purchase that property, and without getting into a lot of the details, there's certain has to do with financing and different things. Some lots will be we're subdividing some of those lots off that aren't included in the sale, and that's the purpose of creating these new lines. And in the near future, we will be submitting what's hopefully the final subdivision plat for the south half of this property that would finally extend that trail loop all the way around to complete. And it's kind of been in the works for a while with a few balls in the air, but now it looks like that's ready to move forward, and hopefully in the next few weeks that we'll be coming to you with that preliminary plat, which would be creating some new right-of-way for a trail loop.
What about the connection to Stuart Nelson Park Road? Is that going to happen?
It appears that it is not. That's kind of been back and forth, but I believe the way it was settled is that there will not be a connection, at least as of now, that I'm aware of.
So this would be connecting through 4B and around to Trailhead Drive, swinging around the bottom.
Basically making a kind of a complete circle there, the trail loop. That's correct.
Other questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. There is one more thing for discussion, which is the open records and open meetings information that I forwarded to all of you. I hope you've had a chance to look at it. I've gone through and highlighted some information that I thought was appropriate for us to just go over. Primarily, the one thing I know that we'd had a question about before has to do with setting special meetings, and those are allowed. We have to notice. They have to be noticed within a certain period of time. The only other time they're allowed would be an emergency meeting, but as I said in the document, there are very, very few times when you would not notice. It would have to be something really extraordinary, and the Attorney General has not heard anything that he feels is emergency. So we will always notice if we set a special meeting. The other thing is the question about, and that notice must be within 24 hours before the special meeting. The other thing is about video teleconferences. There was a question about whether we could do that, and the answer is yes, we can. We cannot have meetings that are only audio-driven. They have to be video meetings. People have to be able to see us. They have to be wherever we are. I mean, if you're in Florida on the video conference, it doesn't make any difference as long as the people can see you through a Zoom meeting or, you know.
And what about the participants?
They have to be allowed. They have to be given, in the notice, they have to be given the opportunity to participate in the meeting.
And we can see them.
Well, sometimes yes and sometimes no. That's not clearly delineated
No,
here.
I
What
didn't
is
see that.
clearly delineated is that we have to be seen.
Correct, yeah, so we would set up a viewing center here in the commission chamber, and then we could also share the Zoom link with the public that's interested in participating.
Right.
And when that time comes, should they have a question or wish to participate in the meeting, they could turn on their video at that point.
Okay.
Correct. There are several other bits of things that I think are really interesting. If we have a special meeting, we pretty much need to stick with the agenda. In other words, we can't add in additional things. Whatever's on the agenda, that's what we have to discuss and nothing more. Does anyone have any questions about what you read or anything that seems like it doesn't make any sense? It seemed pretty cut and dried to me, but it is a little bit complicated, and, once you've read through it, I think it does make sense. But we're asked to all fill out the form. You've each been given one tonight, and leave it so that we can document that, A, you received it, and B, that we discussed it. And
Right.
that way, we're legal with the Attorney General. Are there any other questions or comments concerning this? No? Is there any other business tonight? If not, we stand adjourned at 6 o'clock. Thank you.